We just entered this month of August, so if you can relate with how fast the year 2024 has been going, like, without further ado, I don't say ado, I think I want to find my own phrase. So without further ado, let's chat. Hi there. Good morning. It's Mercy. I don't even know how to start, but let's just see. For those of you who know me, where will you know me from? You know me from real life. Definitely not the internet, because this might even be the first video of myself that I'm putting on the internet. Even though I've shot a whole lot of videos at different points, and I said I was going to start up like my content creation journey, but I never really did. So this might just be a first time introduction, but not the first time I would actually be introducing myself in front of a camera for this purpose. My name is Mercy, and I am a Christian, a wife, an expecting mom, in case you can tell or not, and just a very interesting individual who lives somewhere in Nigeria, Edo State to be precise. And for the longest time, I have thought about sharing my own opinions, sharing my own personal views, sharing life from my own perspective, just with the world and whatever small or large audience that eventually finds me. But I've never had the wherewithal to just get started. So today I decided that, you know what, against all odds, I'm going to do this. And what better way to start than with to put my looks together, since today's a work day and I might be heading out. So I'll just use the opportunity to put my look together, do makeup, and then have a first time chit chat with my online audience or with the internet. I really don't know what to say. The way this video is going, I am still going to post it. This time around, I don't think I want to joke with this. I really want to do this. I want to post it and just see how it goes. I've really not defined the direction for this my channel yet, because I have a lot of topics that I'm really interested in talking about, and somehow they might not really, be on the same um, wavelength. For example, I could want to talk about product design, which is what I do for work, and at the same time, I want to talk about motherhood because it's an experience that I am just getting into for the first time, and I'm really enjoying, and I've been learning a lot. So you see, they're quite parallel from each other, but hopefully I'm able to find a sweet spot and you're able to just interact with this person called Mercy. And of course, you might be seeing other faces here. Definitely, this channel will become more and more dynamic than it's looking currently. But let's start with what we have. So I just want to do a quick life update. So taking my past 1 year into perspective, this video is really for myself. But then, of course, if there are lessons that you learn from it, that's fine. So I want to take my past 1 year into perspective, do an introspection, a retrospection, as I do my makeup. It's something I've actually done, but I just want to talk about it and see how much I can say in such little time. Without further ado, I don't say ado, I think I want to find my own phrase. So without further ado, let's chat. This is where I start my makeup. So first things first, to get your makeup done, you need a broken mirror. This is what I have. It was actually a full length mirror, but one clumsy day I broke it, and since then I've been breaking all the remaining pieces, and this is one of the parts left. So first I'm going to be fixing my hair. My hair looks a mess, but it's always looking like this most of the time because I need it to, I just need it to be as free as possible so I can sleep. But I'm going to be fixing that. Trust me, I do a good job with my hair. At least I try. So today is August 21st. I mean, we just entered this month of August. So if you can relate with how fast the year 2024 has been going, like, I'm grateful to God because things are moving fast. But at the same time, things are moving fast. You know, you make plans before you see Jack, your deadline is already in your face. If I'm looking here, of course, I'm looking at my broken mirror. All right, I'll just begin with, I'll just backtrack to like August 2023. So by August 2023, a couple of things were happening in my life that were quite interesting. So August of last year, I was already preparing for my wedding, right? I was already preparing for my wedding. My husband had, my then fiancé, had proposed to me on the 11th of August last year. So I'll just give a brief story about that day or the days leading up to that day. So I was doing my WOFB. So there's this thing called WOFB in Living Faith Churches, Word of Faith Bible Institute. So it's basically the Bible class that you attend and you receive a certification before you are permitted to, you know, join major units in the church, before you're even permitted to get married. So it's just like a post foundational class, right? There are different levels. There's BCC, there's LCC, there's LDC. For Living Faith members, you understand what I mean. So I had been in Living Faith Church for years, and I'd not done WOFB. Really, no particular reason though. But not I not done WOFB. I had taken the foundation class. I got baptized prior, but I'd not done WOFB, and I was to get married in a couple of months, and without the WOFB certificate, apparently you cannot be married in a Living Faith church. Even that was um, part of a unit already, right? I've been functioning in units for years, but that did not matter. Rules are rules, and a church like Living Faith Church, you just don't waltz in and bend the rules. Luckily for me, there was an August edition. It's called the August Special, and I was like, this is so timely, and this is like the only WOFB that's happening between now and my wedding. So I just knew that I had to join. At the time, I was still freelancing as a product designer. I had a couple of projects, but I just felt that give or take, I should be able to just manage it. So I think WOFB started on like the third day of August, right? I joined WOFB. I would leave. WOFB starts very early in the morning, as early as 7 a.m. You're already out. Like, I think classes begin by 7 a.m. So as early as 6 past 6, I'll leave my house. My house was quite far from my church, and I was driving my dad to a particular place where I can now get a vehicle that takes me to church. So that went on for like the first few days. WOFB is a 2 week program. The first few days, and just a couple of days later, after starting WOFB, my dad became very sick. Now, my parents don't fall sick. I don't really have memories of us being at the hospital because my daddy or my mom is sick. So this one um was quite alarming for us because he had to be admitted at the hospital and then did a series of scans, not information that I really want to share here. And it wasn't looking good. The reports coming in were not looking good. I didn't even know how to react. Now this is my dad that I said used to drop me off at a certain point for WOFB. So continuing WOFB without having like that assistance from my dad just made it very glaring that man, this thing is quite serious. I started to pray for him, especially that I now spent most of my day in the church, right? I now spend most of my time in church, because you'd be in church from as early as 6:30, and you'd leave church like as late as 4. So I was spending all of my time in church, not just in church, like learning a lot about God's word, learning about faith, learning about prayer, intercession, principles of life and spirituality. Basically, I that was immersed. It was an immersive season for me, and I thank God that that was what was happening with me at that point, because as opposed to now losing hope because my dad was like in that condition, I was very bitter and angry at the devil for what was happening in my house, right? So, August of that month, I did not engage from a place of defeat. I engaged from a place of victory in Christ Jesus, total victory in Christ Jesus. And couple of my siblings, my mom, my pastors, my then fiance, friends, we had prayed so much for dad, and glory to God, he left the hospital in August, right? So, um, 11th, the day my daddy left the hospital, the day my dad actually was discharged. In fact, he was not discharged. He discharged himself. He told the hospital officials that he was going home. And the day he came home was the day I was engaged. I was in church, and my fiance had called me, and he said he wanted us to go out somewhere. I said where? I just said he wanted us to go. He was going to meet me in church at this time. At that time, this was the dress I wore to church on that day, right? And I was just feeling like, this is that we're going out. Oh, this kind of outing. And in my head, trust me, I was already feeling that it's most likely a proposal. Let me not lie. So I said no problem. Um I'd taken an excuse from the WOFB class. But apparently in the 12 weeks program, you're permitted to take a few excuses. And I had not taken any excuse on that all through. So on that the 11th of August, I just walked up to the principal in charge. I was like, please sir, I need to go somewhere at around this time. Can I? He was like, that's fine. You can. So I went to shop. I went to buy new clothes, right? So there's a boutique not too far from the church. I just walked in there and I got a pair of jeans and a shirt, and I changed into it. And he was already calling me, where are you? We're getting there. And I told him, please, I'm coming. I just quickly went to get something. Anyway, go buy clothes, you know. So he had waited, and then I came. Like, okay, you look different. Then he took me to this restaurant. He had reserved a table for us, And I just started, talked as sweetly as we always do. This time around, I was already feeling like a princess, because that ambience. Especially the fact that I was just coming from church, had been fasting all day. So it was really good, talk about, just have a conversation over like a very delicious and exquisite meal. And then, of course, Mr. Man went on one knee and brought out my engagement ring. My engagement ring is in front. I don't know, maybe a picture. I'll put a picture somewhere. But I've lost the stone on the ring, so the ring does not look quite exactly as what it was on the day it was given to me. But it still looks good though. But I don't wear it anymore because now I have finer rings. And then of course my fingers have gotten bigger thanks to being pregnant. So I he goes on one ear and he gives me the ring. Trust me, I was happy. I was really happy. I cried, hugged him. But I just had this nagging feeling of the fact that my dad was still in the hospital. How was I going to just go home and break this news? I was just like, the house is kind of, everybody's just walking on eggshells now. How will I take this news on? I felt guilty for being happy, if there's any word like that. So I just said, I'll take it easy. I'm not going to shout about it. So I gone to the hospital that evening. I didn't even know that my daddy was going to leave. So I gone to the hospital that evening. I met my mom and my dad, and I told my mom, "Hey, mommy, see, I just got engaged." And she really wanted to be happy for me, but because of the stress of being in the hospital for weeks, for like a week plus, she just couldn't express so much, and I couldn't even say much to daddy. So I left and went home. Actually, went to the market to buy stuff that we used to make dinner. Only for me to now get home, and I met my parents at home. I'm like, "Daddy, you came home." I said, "Yes, I was tired of staying in the hospital." Thank God that you're back. I was really so happy to see my dad at home because my house had become so quiet because my parents were not around. And then, of course, for the reasons they were not around, the house had become like really quiet, which is not something that is common in my house. My house is like always active. But then when daddy came home, everybody was excited. We were just happy to have him around. We started to talk. Then I now told him about my proposal. And everybody was just excited for me. Everybody was now, "Hey, sir, he's using up." And we were able to have a good time that evening. So August that year, for me, that's what it was like. Proposal, daddy, healing, divine healing, and then, of course, Wolfie. And then plans for wedding kicked off because I was going to get married in a couple of months, in 2 months. All right. So I pretty much spent that month and the following month doing the normal things, going to work. I worked remotely. I was a freelancer at the time. Um, um, just going to work, taking some days off to go to the market with my mom. It was just a lot of back and forth. And then at that time, I was tutoring somebody on design. And that's like another long story on its own. And I really hope to God that I'm able to fix that. So I spent the most part of August, September doing basic regular stuff, working, spending money, wedding and all that, making plans, having back-to-back calls with my fiance, meeting people. I met a whole lot of family members. I did a lot of calling. It was an interesting thing, Sha. It was quite interesting to start calling all my uncles and aunties and cousins, informing them of like the plans in front. October of last year was the month I got married. Like from day one of October. Oh, I wouldn't really say anxiety, but the reality of things got even more realer. So the reality of things became realer, you know. The things that I've been pushing aside, they now like were right there in my face that I needed to do them. Wedding came, it was good. It was good. I had a very cute wedding. Nothing loud, nothing long, nothing extravagant. Just simplest wedding on the block. Even though I would have had it simpler, but my mother would not even take that because, of course, I'm her first daughter and the first person in the family to get married. I'm the first daughter to get married, the first grandchild in the family, my mom's family, to get married. So it was a big deal for her. She wasn't going to hear that I wanted a small wedding, but we did it the way we could. God really, God really came through for us. Our wedding was just divinely provided for. That's all I can say. And then I had my first Christmas last year away from my parents' house, right? Had my first Christmas away from my parents' house. All my life I've done Christmas with my family. But this time around, I had to do Christmas with my husband's family. Nothing bad, because I have like the best mother-in-law in the world. Can't lie. So it wasn't anything, it wasn't an out of body experience. It felt really good. I think I still went to my parents' house that day. I just spent a couple of minutes, and that was it. In January of this year, and then of course I had my first crossover service away from my family to in another church that is not like my family church. So in my husband's church, everything was just new, new, new. Everything was just giving brand new, not Okumo, brand new experiences. And then in January of this year, I got the biggest news of my life. I was pregnant. I was pregnant. Yeah. It didn't come with mixed feelings. I wanted it. We planned for the baby, and then of course, the Lord came through as always, as He has always promised me that I will not cast my young. I've always known that I was fruitful. So children was not something that I ever made up my mind to look for. Children was something that I've always known by default I would have at any point. My voice is going though. I'm trying to talk with I'm trying to talk with my normal voice. But it just keeps going low. Bear with me, please. So I have had another brand new experience in being pregnant. Like I said, everything has been brand new. But the brand newest of them all was being pregnant. The first few weeks of my pregnancy, because I knew I don't miss my period. So once I missed my period, I just knew I was pregnant. So the first few weeks of my pregnancy, I was not sick for anything because it had not yet set in. So I thought that was it too. I thought that was it. I kept telling my mom that, mommy, it is like this. It's sweet now. It's easy now. Why are the people complaining and all that? Mother said, calm down. It doesn't clear for your eye. And in my head, I was just like, my mother is talking kind of stuff. You don't have faith. Little did I know. Little did I know that this was not a kind of thing. So then my first trimester hit me like a lorry. Wow, Jesus Christ. It was torture. I couldn't work. I couldn't function. Glory to Jesus. My job was remote. Actually, I got a job in the previous year. So I got a product design role the previous year. Here I was in February, unable to function because I was pregnant. I would sleep. I would cry. I would be hungry. I was tired. I was nauseated, but I didn't vomit. I know they say vomiting is like one of the symptoms, but it wasn't for me. I think throughout this pregnancy, I vomited only once. I vomited only once, and that was because I was so nauseous that I had to force myself to vomit. My first trimester was stressful, and then I entered the second trimester, and all my interests changed. Me who used to be interested in baby clothes, jewelry, interior design, look of houses, new products on the market, new design challenges, design conferences. My entire longings and desires changed. I started to look at all things pregnancy. Your baby at week this, your baby at week one, your baby at week two, your baby at week three. What to expect? I'm having these symptoms. How big should my bump be? I became consumed by all things pregnancy and baby matters. But did I feel bad? Of course not. I didn't even feel bad about it because I beg. It doesn't happen every day, right? So I enjoyed and of course still enjoying the process and the entire experience. I'm very slow with makeup. Bear with me. So continue though with all of that, and then of course still doing work on one hand. Then my roles at church. So prior to getting married, I used to be official graphic designer at my church. Graphic designer at my church, Living Faith Church where I worship. And so when I moved to this church, my husband is a minister and also head of media here. Tried to get me into his unit, but trust me, I declined because I just felt like this was an opportunity for me to rest from all the work that I'd been doing previously at the other church. But then newer roles began to fall into my lap. I realized that virtue of being married to who I was married to, and not just that, just also by virtue of God's divine call and assignment upon my life, I just needed to be, you know, I just needed to rise up to the occasion and tell myself the truth that I could not just be a bencher here. Even though in my opinion, I was of the opinion that since I'm just coming into like the church and all that, I think it's best for me to just observe, see how things are done. But things happen pretty fast. And before I could say what, I started to teach tech in church. So what is tech? Tech is a Tuesday evening church services, more like what you call Bible study. But the way it's done in my church is you have the sermon taught, and then you have breakout session, and then you're a teacher for a particular class. You anchor your class, you ask questions, you hold down the discussion, and you also give like good answers to questions based on scripture, right? So that involves a whole lot of personal Bible study, because you cannot just be giving people responses from your head when you're not the Holy Spirit. You get right. So it came with its own description, it came with its own expectations, and to the glory of God, I've pretty much been doing a good job. God has been helping me, I can't lie. And then at work, my team got bigger. I became team lead at work, drug design team lead. It used to be just me on the team, but then I'm playing a couple of other designers, both contract staff and full time staff, and I was made product design team lead. I'm still product design team lead, and of course that comes with a whole lot of responsibility as well. But as usual, God has been really helping me, and the most beautiful thing is that all the individuals, all my team members are male. And somehow, guys, because I have a lot of brothers, I have 4 brothers. So I just feel like I have my way with guys. Working with guys is just, it just comes naturally for me, right? So we're able to talk, even within the gist, to still able to get work done. So it's been quite a proficient system. Even though there are days where I just feel like the laughs get in the way of getting work done, but I will not call it an inefficient method of working. So far so good in the past 1 year. What have been the major points for me? One of the major points is you have not experienced everything that you're going to experience in life. You haven't at all. No matter the pool of experiences you think you have, just know that as you grow older, experiences, it's plenty in front, right? It's plenty. Like you're going to see things that you've never seen before. I'm not even talking bad things, both good experiences, both normal experiences, but you're definitely going to experience things that you've never experienced before. And how you deal with it really matters a lot. So one way to deal with like new experiences or to handle new experiences is to just seek the knowledge of people who have experienced it before. For example, now I'm getting pregnant. One thing that has really helped me is to seek not just the opinion of others, but to try and understand how they dealt with their own unique experiences, right? So I do that a lot. Even at work. I do that a lot. I don't find it hard to like ask for people's perspectives. I don't find it hard to ask for people's perspectives. This is one of the reasons why I'm going to start this YouTube channel, because I listen to people's perspectives a lot. So I might as well listen to mine, right? And people as well can listen to mine and get wisdom, get help. So that's one of the most important lessons for me. That you haven't finished experiencing everything. In fact, you have not scratched the surface. As long as you want to live long on this earth, get ready for experiences. Another thing that life has taught me is, or that I've learned in the past 10 months, is prepare for stuff. A lot of opportunities that I have missed in the past 1 year, even though I'm no longer regretting them per se. But I know that had I been a little bit more prepared for those things, they would have turned out way better. Prepare ahead for stuff. I think that learning something, getting hold of a certain information is a waste of time. You will just in a very short while need that information that you just got, need that knowledge that you just got, right? And you see how important it is to always keep your mind open to learning. Always keep your mind open to gaining new knowledge. Whether it's at work, whether it's with your spirituality. And then another thing I've also learned is nobody can exist alone. Jesus Christ. You need people. You need people. I've not had a tough year per se, but on the days where things were like, gosh, what is this? People were just the way God helped me navigate. By people, I mean my husband, my friends, Jesus Christ, my friends, hey, my parents, my in-laws. I remember when I just got pregnant. Towards the end of my first trimester, I had put on so much weight. I was just so God, I was just so worried. I reached out to a friend from a doctor friend from just where I'd served, and like she was so helpful in helping me navigate. She's a registered dietitian. She was so helpful in helping me navigate that season of my life. Helping me like in helping me feel good, one, put me in a place mentally where I was now even able to make like decisions that helped me health wise and diet wise. I never imagined that I would need her that much in my life. And at that point where I needed her, she was there. Even though it was a service, but she was just there for what I needed her for and more. Even things I didn't know that I would even need from her. Like you need people. People are God's outstretched arm on the earth. Don't live in a bubble. Don't even think that you can live life by yourself at all. Don't ever, whenever you begin to think that you can live life by yourself, that's just a lie. There's a reason God told us to replenish the earth and inhabit it. If not, He wouldn't have even put reproductive organs in man. It would just be only two of them forever and ever. There's no beauty in that. There's no beauty in being alone. There's nothing cute about living your life by yourself without having any support system. It's the wrongest way to live. You should get friends. You should get people, right? Get people. I don't have a lot of friends myself, and it's something I'm actively working on. Not to get a crowd of friends, but to intentionally build relationships because I care about you genuinely, right? Not even simply because of what I would get from being in a friendship with you, but because of what I want to give you as an individual and because I genuinely care about you too, right? So that's that for friendships. Whew, I don't think I have enough gist for this entire makeup. So I'll just finish the makeup and then come back and see whatever comes to mind. So makeup done and this is what it looks like. You would have to rate me in the comment section. But then pretty much that's all I wanted to talk about. Just a highlight of my year in retrospect. Of course, there are a lot of details that are out of the stories that I shared, but in everything, I'm super grateful to God and how much one year can really hold in a person's life. And I'm mindful of all the lessons learned going forward. I am also mindful of the opportunities that life presents, and I'm also grateful that I have gotten to shoot this video and that I am going to post this video and that you are going to watch this video and we're going to start something really interesting on this space. So it's in fact, I'm looking forward to all the dynamics. Let's just do this one video at a time. Thank you. Bye.